Yes, people, welcome back to another video. Some of you might be thinking, why he's uploading another video? But the video I uploaded this morning was corrupted, so we have to do another one. But this is better because I brought my mate Saeed on the show. Big United fan, as you can tell with the background
Come
there.
on.
But yeah, we're going to go through all the transfer roundup from today's news, the BBC gossip column, and we'll start off with Chelsea are just in the news just all the time, aren't they? And check this
Always,
out,
man.
people. Check this out. Juventus have told Chelsea that they can have Serbia striker Dusan Vlahovic for 25 million euros plus their Belgium striker Romelu Lukaku. Lukaku is willing to take a £1 million pay cut in order to make a permanent return to Inter Milan after his loan spell. But Chelsea have also told Inter Milan of Juventus's interest in Lukaku in an attempt to drive up the price, which has angered Juventus. Big stuff going on here with Chelsea, with Lukaku, with Vlahovic. Bro, Chelsea obviously need goals, innit? What do you reckon, Vlahovic? What do you reckon Lukaku's saying? Obviously, former United player as well.
Yeah, no, I think Vlahovic is a good player. He started off crazily at Fiorentina, got the hype, you know what I mean, and obviously made that move in January to Juventus and did well to the end of the season. But last season's been a struggle for him. Um, very much injury prone. Not really scored that many goals that you would expect from Vlahovic in a sense. But I think for me, Chelsea could be a good move for him, especially for that price as well. And then they get to offload Romelu Lukaku to them. Inter have been messing around, like they haven't got the money to kind of obviously afford it. They wanted to do like these little loan deals and whatnot, but Chelsea just want to get rid. And when you want to
Yeah.
get rid of a player, you just have to just get rid of it. And that's what Chelsea are at the minute. They say, you know what, this makes sense for Juventus, makes sense for Chelsea. All parties are good. They get Vlahovic, they offload him. And then, you know what I mean? It makes sense for all parties. I'm surprised Juventus are letting them go, but they're in financial trouble. They've just been kicked out of the UEFA Conference League for obviously what they did in the corruption, the allegations. So Vlahovic is crazy. After a year and a bit, he's leaving that club. But I think he's a good player, good, decent little player. Pochettino as well will like him. Yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie, this is a good deal, man. A good price because I thought he was gonna go for around 70 million, 80 million
Yeah.
euros. So it's a good price for him for me.
It'll be interesting to see how he does if he comes to the Prem because he was linked with City. He's probably been linked with United, Liverpool over the years. He's been
Yeah,
linked with a lot of
definitely.
clubs, and I think going to Chelsea, where there's not too much pressure on him straight away, because Chelsea are in this weird sort of position this year where I think it's
Exactly.
just improve on last year. Could be a good move. We spoke about this one on your stream just a moment ago, but obviously big news coming in here. Bayern Munich have made an improved
Yeah,
offer for Harry Kane. Now, listen, we spoke
yeah.
about this at length. Everyone has their say on this one, but Harry Kane now is approaching sort of that period now where if he's going to make a move, it's either got to be this year or next year. The
Yeah,
problem is how much do you pay for him if you're Bayern Munich, and does that value match with what Spurs want, bro?
yeah. You know what? That's the thing. For me, I thought he would have been a bit more lenient if he was going away abroad to kind of
Mm,
obviously, you know what I mean? You're looking at Bayern Munich, you're looking at other clubs, maybe even Madrid he was touted as going to. But Daniel Levy is insistent on this price tag, man, that he wants 100 million plus for a player who, again, is getting 30 the next week or two. He's
mm,
obviously going to be, you know what I mean, moving on and whatnot. Therefore, Bayern to say, right, this is what he should be worth. We're not going to get 4 or 5 years out of him. We're going to get probably 2 or 3 at max. So please, can you give us a subsidized price?
mm,
Daniel Levy don't mess around, and that's the problem. Like you got to pay or shut up, basically. And
mm-hmm.
and you know what? I don't blame. For once, I actually don't blame Daniel Levy because it is
Yeah.
a bit of a cheeky price, 70 then 80 now. He is going very slowly, rather than maybe starting at 85, 90, and then kind of say, right, 10 million is a
Mm,
valuation we're kind of stumbling on. Go from there, but. I think for me, Tottenham have got to make a decision, man, because Postecoglou wants to be like, "Yo, I've got a pre-season to go here. I need to
yeah. It's not good
sort
for
out
him,
this
innit?
squad. If he goes, it's not good for him, and also it's not good for the environment. Like if they want a new
True.
striker,
Mm,
like now they're gonna get bumped up because then they got money. So when they realize they've got money, people are gonna write, right. If you want, I don't know, let's say Dominic Calvin-Lewin. I'm just using an example. Everton will be like, no, we want 80 million for Dominic Calvin-Lewin because we know you've got money.
yeah.
Obviously, it could be the same for any player. I've told if he was available right now and Spurs wanted him, Brentford could literally ask for about 80 million because they're like, right, we value this at him. He's Premier League proven. He scores goals. Pay the
Mm.
money. Pay the money. So
Yeah, it's
it's
it's a
interesting
madness.
when
It's
you
a
deep
false
it.
economy, isn't it? It's a false economy. Like this is what happens
It
when
is.
selling clubs ask for so much cash. Like, yes, you feel great, but unless you've already got the player in, it's going to bite you in the ass the other side when you've got to go and buy the players.
Yep.
So, I agree,
Yep.
man. I think you're spot on there.
100%, mate.
Speaking of money, bro, Al Ettifaq manager Steven Gerrard has held talks with Ivory Coast winger Wilfred Zaha over a £16 million year move to Saudi Arabia with
Yeah.
a 30-year-old contract at Crystal Palace having now expired. He's now a free agent, bro. I'm going to tell you my part on this. Yeah, you can tell me if you agree or disagree with me. All these players that are moving there, I'm all for it, bro. I'm telling Wilfred
Yeah, yeah,
Zaha
facts.
to move to Saudi.
Mm,
This guy is not going to get a move to a Champions League club. He's probably not
mm,
going to play for a club in England that's going to win trophies. So unless he's desperate to stay in
facts.
England, I'm telling him, go get the bag, man. Go sign a 2 3 year contract. Your life is set.
Facts.
Generational wealth. Go and earn the cash, man.
Facts. 100%. I'm with you. Go get the wealth, go get the money, go and get whatever you need. Enjoy yourself. You know what I mean? That's how it should be, man. But
Mm,
I think ultimately, I don't know, man. I think it's crazy because Crystal Palace are not negotiating anything for him to stay or get more a new extension. He literally is a free agent. Like that's one that's not talked about enough. Like I
mm,
reckon he could go to a club like Tottenham. I think he could go to a club like West Ham might come in for him. Like he still could go to a club where they could go to Aston Villa would be a good
mm,
move because they don't
mm,
really have many strikers apart from Watkins. That could be a good move, and he could be playing in Europe. So for me, it's either you make a decision now or you lose that because I think Al Ittifaq won't be waiting a while as well. They'll be looking at
mm.
other transfers and whatnot. So
Definitely.
make a decision, man, because at the end of the day, that money it comes and goes. And if you miss out on this opportunity to get 16 million a year, last 5 years of your career, yeah, and sit, relax, and sit, generational wealth for your family. I think you're missing out big time, man. I
Mm.
really, really do. So get that money quickly. Get it
I agree.
right now, man.
100%, I
Why not?
agree. Big news here for United. Man United are preparing to submit a new bid for Atalanta striker Rasmus Højlund, having already reached an agreement in principle with the Denmark striker over a contract until 2028. What can you tell us about Rasmus Højlund, bro? Your latest sort of
Yeah,
insight on this?
yeah, listen, he's a good player. I've watched him a couple of times at Atlanta last season. He's mainly come off the bench, but when I did watch him, he's very, very raw, quick. When he scores goals as well, he's always hiding in between the defenders and kind of creating that movement for himself,
Mm,
and that's the way he gets his goals. He's got a wonderful left foot. I think he's could be a perfect player for the Premier League, but again, a lot of money, especially for a young player, a lot of pressure. People are calling him the next Haaland. People are calling him generational talent. I don't believe that, but I think it's a risk. But I think it's one of them where if we don't buy him now, I genuinely think for me next season he goes for around 80 million, 90 million. Because if he scores and if he has another season where he scores 20 goals or just in general scores 20 goals, I
yeah.
genuinely think for me him he could go 80 million. The price will go up with this kind of player. It always does. You know what I
Mm,
mean? It happens every year. Like one player is this 1 minute, and then next week, Caicedo's example,
true.
4.5 million,
Yeah.
Brighton bought him for now, 100 million as well now. So
Facts.
it will happen. It will happen,
Mm.
100%.
It's facts. It's facts. It'll be interesting to see if that gets done. Aston Villa are making moves for Bayer Leverkusen winger Musa Diaby, but will have to pay a club record
Oh,
fee of £50 million. That's according to the Daily Mail. I think Aston Villa, could be in for a good season here. They've got a great manager. They've got a
yeah,
decent
I think
team.
as well.
They're improving it with signings. And it just
Yeah,
the only thing for them is the only negative is obviously they play in that Conference League, and it's sort of like that Thursday, Sunday football, which is difficult.
yeah,
Obviously, United have been in Europa League recently, and it is difficult. It takes a toll on you. So, other than that, I think they're in great position, bro. And Unai Emery is a Champions League level manager, so they've got a top class manager there.
yes. Yeah, absolutely, man. I think they got a top class manager there. I think for me, he's proven it on a world stage that he's done it. Europa League trophies. I think Aston Villa might be cooking something next season. Again,
Mm,
especially 1 year with the manager. Not even 1 year. He's been there 6, 7 months. He came in December, I think. So, he's a manager for me who's proven in European level. I thought, well, I'm not gonna lie to you. When style, I thought style of play would it be? Would they like it? But they do like it. They enjoy it, and for me, it's a good buy. But they do need wingers, and that's why I think this signing makes sense. They don't really have
Yeah.
a right winger. They don't actually play with wingers, to be fair. So this is a good signing for them. A lot of money,
Mm.
but we'll kind of like prove it as the years go on. Definitely.
100%. 100%. Fulham and Crystal Palace are interested in signing USA fullback Serginho Dest from Barcelona. I think that'll be a good signing for both of them.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Again, like I said, he's not really proven it since his Ajax days, but yeah, definitely a good signing.
Mhm. Wolfsburg are willing to keep hold of Mickey van der Ven if Tottenham do not meet their £40 million asking price for the Dutch defender. That's from Wolfsburger. Yeah, Tottenham doing what
Mm.
Tottenham do, penny pinching. Instead of going out
Penny
there and just
pinching,
getting the
man.
players that they need, they're haggling over
Crazy.
this, haggling over that. And look,
40
I
million is a
can't.
decent player.
Yeah, yeah.
40 million
Well,
is a decent price.
apparently so. Apparently, 40 million is a good value for him. So why Tottenham are messing around? I have no idea. But
Typical Tottenham, man. They
this
do
is
want two centre
ludicrous.
backs, though. That's why they want. They maybe want a bargain to go and get like two centre backs for a good price rather
Mm,
than blowing it all in one player. Maybe that's where they're
maybe.
kind of looking at it.
Maybe that's
Yeah.
true, but 40 million these days is very cheap. This one, I like this one. I really do. Leicester's England winger Harvey Barnes wants to move to Newcastle this summer. That's from Football Insider. Listen, so I don't know what your take on it. I really like Harvey Barnes. I think, in
Yeah.
my opinion,
Good
I think he
player.
probably should have left Leicester a year or two ago and had some maybe better coaching at a better
Mm,
club. But I still think there's a great player in there. And I think that whoever gets him,
mm.
I think he can be a real asset. He works super hard, which is needed in the Champions League. Of course, obviously, playing against good teams, you're going to have to get wingers that track back. He can score a goal, create a goal. And I still think that there's levels to his game that have not been unlocked. And with the right manager, with the right club and atmosphere, I think they can get him. And the price that they're talking, 35, 40 million, honestly, I think that's a good buy, man. I think Newcastle
Yeah.
do a lot worse than getting this guy.
Absolutely, and I just think as well in general, um, A is a good price as well, but B he's both-footed, young, England international as well. Yeah, I think it's something that that clubs would want, and Newcastle as well,
Mm,
especially when they Alexander Maximan might be leaving the football club as well, and they've got other players in there. But yeah, this is a good buy for me. Very, very good
mm.
player. Underrated for me. Very underrated.
Agreed. Agreed. This is another interesting one, man. Brazilian midfielder Fred has changed agents amid
Yeah,
interest from Fulham and Saudi Arabian club. So, is this it then? Is this the end of Fred at Manchester United? Because listen, let me just say something. Put all the laughs to one side. I actually think if you put him in the right position, he can do a job. You know,
yeah.
United are
Can do a
obviously
job.
expected to challenge probably for the league, although that's not looking likely at the moment. But based on where they finished last year, you're in the Champions League, looking to win another couple domestic cups if possible. Is this the right decision? Are there not other players that maybe need to go before Fred? Like, what's your take on the Fred situation,
Yeah,
bro?
you know what? That's the argument that we've had in our fan base is that it probably is a better player that could go more than Fred, or worse, a player, sorry, that could go more than Fred. Because I feel
Mm,
like for me, he can offer you something this season. He's probably been his best season. 6 goals this season, couple of assists as well. There, played a more advanced role. I think you're right in that sense, but I think for himself, he's thinking last 5 years or whatever I've got left in me. This is my time now to move. Now I'm not going to play a lot of games. He probably wants to make the Brazil squad in a couple of years. Still wants to kind of be that player. So I think for
mm,
me, he still wants to be in around it. So yeah, I think he'll move on, and I think we'll get at least around 15, 20 million out of him. That's the least we can get out of
mm.
him.
Yeah, man, interesting to take that. PSG, this is our mad situation at PSG right now. PSG in the last 2 weeks, it is just the club is just absolutely on fire. PSG could look to sign Napoli's Nigeria striker Victor Osimhen as a replacement for one-away France forward Kylian Mbappe. That's from Gazzetta dello Sport. This PSG situation, I wish they had a Netflix documentary. You had the manager who got like arrested for discrimination. You then had Kylian Mbappe coming out with a mad interview, slating certain things within the
Mm.
club. You then had the owner or the
It's not
director
getting
coming
boring though
out.
for you. I
You
feel like it's
what?
getting a bit boring now. It's getting a bit boring this saga
Well,
for
you
me
think it's
because it's like
repetitive? You think it's repetitive?
repetitive. It's every week it's changing. It's 1 minute it's here, then
Yeah.
1 minute it's staying. I just feel like for me, like he's got to just move to his boyhood club. Like he wants to go to Real Madrid. Let's see where, and then that should be his career kind of finalized in that,
Mm,
in that league, in that league. So yeah, man, it's getting boring. I think PSG, if they lose Kylian Mbappe, it's a big, big loss, man. Because Neymar's kind of passed it a little bit now. they've got to keep him. They've got to keep him, man.
The
And for
project
me,
failed, bro. The project failed,
project
innit?
failed. Yeah, exactly. You lost Messi now. You've lost this player. Yeah, project failure, man. And then obviously they kind of move on to kind of just getting players that the manager was, because Enrique's now at the club now, so he'll want to make signings towards his mold. You
Doesn't
know,
it though
so
prove, bro? And I know people say this, but the people who say this are dumb. Doesn't it prove though that money isn't everything in football, man? You know what I mean? You can have as much money as you want. And like, if you look at United, I'm not saying this to Diggs. Like, look how much United have spent. Money is not. You got to spend the money in the right way.
many wisely. Yeah, yeah.
Too many
Mm.
people, too many fans in the game think, oh, you have money, it equals success. It doesn't. You do need
No,
money generally to have success, but you've got to have a clear plan in place. And that is something
clear
that
plan.
PSG have seriously lacked. This is a weird one, bro. I don't know if you've seen this. USA legend Landon Donovan has
No.
criticised Chelsea American winger Christian Pulisic for choosing to join AC Milan over a move to MLS. That's from Fox Sports. Now, I know obviously we get some Americans watching this video, but I mean, that is just bizarre to me. I mean, MLS for me is a place that you go towards the end of the career. You know what I mean? When you're
Yeah.
30. This guy's 24 years old. Of course he's going to pick AC
What is
Milan. I
he?
think this is completely unfair from Landon Donovan.
Yeah, it's completely unfair, but it's like, well, it's not even logical to think that he would go there ahead of a move to to AC Milan. It's just, for me, it's
Mm,
crazy. Again, it's for me like, it's that bias towards obviously the American League and USA, and yeah, man. I don't know, man. Again, Landon Donovan's a legend and he can get away with that. It's probably the only player that can get away with it, and
true.
Pulisic might not mind it, but I don't know what he's thinking, man. He's still got some years left in him before
Of
he can go
course.
to MLS, man.
He's 24, man.
24, man.
It's a joke.
Exactly. What are you
Um,
doing?
This is an interesting one. Roma boss Jose Mourinho is keen on signing Scotland midfielder Scott McTominay from his former club Manchester United football transfers. Surely McTominay's time at Man United is up now. That's what I'm saying when I
Yeah,
talk about Fred
definitely.
before. Like, I feel like Fred maybe couldn't still play for
McTominay.
United, but McTominay, surely it's over, isn't
Yeah.
it?
You know what it is as well, though. McTominay was a player that was brought through by Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho gave him his debut all them seasons ago, so that's why he's kind of he's talking about that in that sense. So he's probably got a bit of a relationship with him in that sense. So yeah, for me, Italian league, would it suit him? Probably would do. He probably look like a
Yeah,
will be over there,
I
the way
agree.
he'd kind of run into the box. So yeah,
I agree. Former Man United player as well, who's on loan at Man United. Doesn't look like United are going to go in for him. Um, saying, look, he could actually be on the way to Roma as well, with Jose Mourinho's
yeah.
interested in Marcel Sabitzer. So didn't really do enough at
Mm.
Man United for United to pull the
No,
trigger on him. But yeah, there
no.
we go on that one. This is an interesting one, bro, because I seen you tweet about this one last night. Man United and Newcastle are
Yes.
both exploring a potential deal from France defender Axel Disasi. How do you say his name? Disasi, is it?
Decisive, yeah, decisive,
Disa-
yeah, decisive.
yeah, but neither side has made a bid yet. So, Man United, Newcastle. Now, you said you on your tweet, right, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're not feeling this too much.
No, not for me. I think for me, I don't know. I'm not really rating it, if I'm being honest with you. But I think we don't really need. I think it's not the priority centre back right now. We need a couple of midfielders in there and a striker. That would be the last thing I do, would be buy a centre back. And again, it's not really a great centre back. He's decent, but again, if Varane gets injured and Martinez, am I going to be confident in him? No.
Yeah.
He'd probably suit Newcastle more, just because I feel like the way they play, they'd be a bit more defensive first.
Mm.
But we want to play out from the back and be kind of comfortable on the ball. So no, not for me.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I hear that. This is Timber. Urian Timber is at a medical with Arsenal and returned home for a farewell party at the weekend before he completes and moves to Ajax. That's good
Yeah,
strengthening.
seen the pictures. Yeah, seen the
Yeah,
pictures for that as well.
good strengthening that from Arsenal. Sheffield United are keen on Nottingham Forest English midfielder Lewis O'Brien. That's from the Sheffield
Okay.
Star. Played a fair few
Yeah,
games for Forest last year. Looks okay, so
fair
that's
few
probably a
games.
decent
Yeah,
signing.
yeah, yeah.
This is a mad one, bro. Look at this guy, man. He's still playing. Actually, young. He's looking at
Still
potentially
playing good
making
as
a
well.
move. Yeah, to Everton at 38 years old, bro. This is. I mean,
Yeah,
fair. You got to give the guy respect, man. So for his body still
I'll
to be
give
in the
it, man.
condition to be playing Premier League
Yeah,
football at 38, he's
39 in September, I think, as well. I'm sure it's 39 in September. I
that is
could be wrong,
wild.
but I'm definitely sure 39 in December. So yeah, man, I think for me, it's one of them where, yeah, no, he just turned 38 actually. Yeah, just turned 38. So
That is
crazy, man. But it
that
just
is a
shows you,
wild
man.
one.
He's a top player, man. I
Yeah.
think for me, he's just so fit and he's so agile. That's why
Mm.
he's always there
He's an
and
athlete,
always
isn't it?
available.
100%.
Athlete, yeah.
This is another interesting one. Brazil defender Thiago Silva spoke to Roma's Paulo Dybala at the British Grand Prix and asked the Argentina forward about reports of joining him to
Yeah, I've
Chelsea. What
seen
do you
that as
make
well.
of Dybala, bro?
Yeah, I've seen that as well. I think he's a good player, but I think he's injury prone, man. I don't think he's surviving the Premier League. I generally, just because of
Yeah.
the physicality and everything like that, the demand. I think Serie A suits him. There's a reason why he's never left the Serie A, throughout his whole career. So I think for me that's a non-story. To be
Mm.
honest with you.
Yeah, probably. Liverpool are prepared to let English defender Nat Phillips join Leeds, but only on a permanent deal. Yeah, he's 26 now. He needs to be playing
Yeah, he
permanent
needs to move
football.
on, 100%.
Your boy, bro. Your boy, Amad
Yeah,
Diallo,
man.
man. He's looking at potentially going on a loan offer for. Can you give it any exclusivas, any bombazos, bro?
You know what? For me, what he said to me was that he wants to play at Man United. He's not really looking at anything else. He wants to prove himself at Man United.
Okay.
So for me, he's got his sets on Man United. Obviously, if Man United think differently, then that's on Man United, isn't it? Really, to be
Mm.
honest with you.
Yeah, no,
So
fair play for having that desire. England midfielder, or former England midfielder Jake Livermore played as a trialist for Watford in a friendly against Arsenal at the weekend after being released by West Brom. And finally, West Ham have registered their interest in a deal to sign Senegal forward Habib Diallo from Strasbourg. That's Football Insider. The final
nah,
thing
I
I
don't
want to
know him.
ask you, no, I don't know him either. The final thing I wanted to ask you, bro, there's some rumours coming out, yeah, that Juventus are considering 30 million euros for Laporte too much money. I just wanted to get your take on
Oh,
that one, man, because for me, I still think Laporte's like a 50 million pound player.
yeah.
To say it's too
Especially he's got
much,
2 years left on his contract, innit? He's got 2 years left
yeah.
on his contract.
What
Yeah,
are
I
you
think for
saying?
me he's worth at least 40, 50, if that, like, you know what I mean? But you know what? It just shows you, man, like it's like you have to look at it in a metric of other centre backs going at a similar price, you know?
Yeah,
I think Aguerd, came to West Ham for 40 million, I think it was. So, but the thing is, though, what I said to a lot of people is that we always have to pay because we've got the money in the Premier League, but we have to be conscious about other teams in Europe. They don't have the money. They don't.
mm,
So it's like we're always going to be underselling. I reckon we're going to always overbuy and overpay, but always undersell because we have to
true.
look at other clubs that they're not our league, but that's their fault, not our
Yeah.
fault. You got to make your league better,
True,
you
man.
know.
I just think it's a joke, man. If we sell Laporte for 30 million euros, then we're mugs, man, because he's worth way more than that.
100%.
But yeah, that's a joke, man. And I'd rather him just sit on a bench and sell it for 30 million quid. But there we go,
Oh,
man. Listen, that's another transfer roundup, daily transfer roundup
big up.
done. Yeah, big news obviously coming out that the Rasmus Højlund deal is obviously big. The Vlahovic, the Harry Kane, and of
Yeah.
course this Laporte news as well, people. So listen, make sure you go check out Saeed TV, link in the title. Make sure you drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, give us all your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. See you later.